Hi everyone, and welcome back to Herzography. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about focus stacking and why it's necessary for many different images that we shoot, whether it's close-up of a flower or if you're doing landscape photography and you have a large scene that you want to have everything in focus. Now, many times there's going to be something in the foreground, something close like this, or like a flower, or maybe some rocks if you're doing a beach and a coastal scene, and you want those to be in focus as well as infinity, the mountains in the background. When you shoot focus stacking, it's many times you're going to be thinking, well, why don't I just stop down to f16 or 32 or 64? And as convenient as that sounds, it's not recommended, because as you start stopping down, you get into lens diffraction. I'm not going to go into all the explanation of that. You can find that online. But needless to say, lens diffraction is going to wind up giving you a softer image. So you really want to stay at the sweet spot of your lens, the sharpest part of your lens. And that's usually going to be somewhere around f8 to f11, depending upon the lens. There's plenty of people online that'll give you recommendations for the lenses that you're using. Do some tests yourself, and you'll be able to figure that out. But for the lens that I'm using right now, this 24 to 70 f4 NIKKOR lens, the sweet spot for it is around f8, maybe f9, around there. So I usually try to keep it at that. There are going to be exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, I'm going to shoot at f8. Now at f8, I can't get everything in focus if I have something really close to infinity. And the reason I know that is because I use an app on my phone called True DOF. DOF stands for depth of field. And in True DOF, in this application, I set first the focal length and then the f-stop. And those two are going to show me how much is going to be in focus depending upon where my focus point is. Now, many times when we're doing landscape, I know in the past I would always just set on infinity, which can be fine, but right now it's showing me that my hyperfocal distance is bringing me to around 23 feet. Not ideal. So if I was to focus on, meaning if I put the upper level of my hyperfocal distance right up against infinity, now I have 12 feet to infinity in focus, as long as I'm focused around the 25-foot mark. Digital cameras make it very easy with the scale to determine where that focus is. But in this particular scene, this is closer. I'm guessing probably around 4 or 5 feet away. So I'm definitely not going to be able to make this shot in one image. I'm going to have to take 2 or 3 images. And this scale will show me as I move the slider up and down, do I need to do 2 shots or 3 shots? And can I do this with the built-in software? Sure you can. And I encourage you to go into the menu system, read your manual, all the pages that are there, and see if you're able to figure it out, to say, okay, this is where I want to start, this is where I want to end up, how many images do I want to take, and what f-stop, and there's a number of other factors. It becomes complicated. So I have found that I've got a couple of quick and easy methods to use out in the field to be able to enjoy where you are and get a few images, which is all you might need for the focus stack. So here's the first method. I have this lens right now set on autofocus. I also have my LCD screen on the back set to touch, focus, and shoot. So by using my depth of field scale on the phone, I'm able to determine that I need to, of course, shoot this close-up object. So I'm going to tap and click. Now I need to touch on this, around this concrete piece out here. So I'm going to tap and focus there and shoot, and then I'm going to shoot in the distance. So that has given me the 3 focus points that I need to make sure that I get to stack. Now what I'm going to do is I want to do this again. I'm going to put my finger in front, just going to do a quick shot. Doesn't matter if it's in focus or not, that's just to let me know that when I'm back in Lightroom, I'm starting the next set of images. So the next set is what I would call my second version, which is not using autofocus, but using manual focus. So I'm setting the lens, I just flicked it over to manual focus. Now that I'm doing manual focus, I need to go in the viewfinder and I'm going to manually focus on this close-up object and then use the shutter release to take that image. Then I'm going to focus a little bit further, probably about, you can see I'm going about 7 or 8 feet away, which is exactly what the application told me to do. Now I'm going to go out to infinity and shoot that image. So these are the two different methods that I use for doing focus stacking. The autofocus versus the manual focus can be just a personal preference. It might depend upon the scene where you're at, where you might have to look through the viewfinder because it might be very bright, hard to see the back of your screen. Other factors involved. Doesn't matter which method you use, I just suggest trying these out to see what's going to work best for you out in the field. In the next video, I'm going to bring you into Lightroom and we'll go through these different sets of images and we'll blend them together so that you can see the final image all focused together. So thank you for joining me here on Herzography. I look forward to seeing you in the next video real soon. Bye for now.